This is how Syrian rebels finally captured a government airbase this summer in northern Syria. They jerry-rigged extra armor onto a captured armored personnel carrier and then rigged it with lots of explosives. The next step involved a man from Saudi Arabia named Wad Abdulrahim. He was a member of an al-Qaeda linked militant group that calls itself the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, or ISIS. Abdulrahim drove the APC to the gates of Minig Air Base and blew it up. The suicide operation ended a siege that had lasted nearly a year and marked a victory for the ISIS. Although CNN cannot independently verify some of these videos, it's clear that the ISIS is one of the newest, most ideologically extreme factions to join the hodgepodge of rebel groups that control northern Syria.
Indeed, the ISIS is the group I'm worried about.
Abu Omar, not his real name, is a Syrian anti-government activist who agreed to talk about the ISIS, provided we blur his face for safety.
Now we are suffering from two sides, the jihadi people and the regime.
Within the last year, the ISIS came from Iraq and began taking over territory in the rebel-controlled north. Eyewitnesses say the ISIS now controls most of the city of Raqqa. The stated goal of the group is to establish an Islamic state uniting Syria and Iraq.
Isn't the Vatican a state for the Christians? Isn't Palestine now a state for the Jews? So now when we declare an Islamic state, is that right or is it wrong?
A growing number of Syrians long opposed to the Syrian regime are now sounding the alarm about the ISIS.
So these jihadis, they scare you as much as the regime now?
Now, yes.
It's that bad?
Yes. Some of them, they are so horrible, especially the ISIS, because they are not Syrian.
Many ISIS fighters come from Iraq, Turkey, North Africa, and even Chechnya. Secular members of the Syrian opposition who have spoken out against the ISIS say they have recently been targeted by a campaign of kidnapping. Among those missing for weeks now is a famous activist named Abu Maryam. In an interview with CNN earlier this year, Abu Maryam warned about the rise of hardline Islamist groups in the rebel north. The ISIS militia is still vastly outnumbered by other, more moderate rebel brigades. But these militants are well armed and well funded and determined to take over the rebel-held enclave in northern Syria. Ivan Watson, CNN.